Good to know Shabbos, Parshas Chukas, Tavshin Pei. One of the most pivotal events in the life of Moshe Rabbeinu takes place in this week's Parsha, Parshas Chukas. Moshe Rabbeinu is commanded by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to speak to the rock in order for there to be water to emerge, to allow the Jewish people to drink in the desert. And instead, Moshe Rabbeinu, of course, hits the rock and as a result is punished, as the Pasuk says, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. Yan lo hemanten bilaktisheni le'bnei Israel. As a result of you not sanctifying my name by speaking to the rock, and instead you hit the rock, l'chei lo saviu es hakol hazel haaretz asher nasati lam. You'll be punished mightily, and you'll be prohibited to enter the land of Eretz Yisrael with the Jewish people. You won't be able to perform the mitzvos, hatluyos ba'aretz, the unique mitzvos to Eretz Yisrael. You'll be unable to be the leader who will conquer the land and enter with the people who you helped leave Mitzrayim, who you performed miracles for in the Egyptian Empire, and who you helped survive through the 40-year sojourn in the desert. What an incredible punishment that Moshe is receiving as a result of hitting the rock, as opposed to speaking to the rock. And the punishment is mighty, and the greater they are, the harder they fall. But Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't give up, and he continues to daven to Kadosh Baruch Hu, asking Kadosh Baruch Hu, please, please allow me to enter your holy land. As we see in the beginning, Parshas V'eschanan and Sefer Dvarim, Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Ebrona ve'eres haaretz hatova asher be'ever hayarden, ha'har hatov hazeh v'halevanon." All I want to do is to see the other side of the Jordan, the good mountains, the beautiful Lebanon. I want to see Eretz Yisrael, as the Gemara says in the Maseches Sota. Moshe Rabbeinu asks, I want to fulfill the mitzvos of Eretz Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu listens and hears, and Moshe Rabbeinu says one more thing. And in Perek Gimel, Pasuk Chavav, Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Vayisaber Hashem bi lemanchem." Hashem became angry with me because of you, v'lo shama elai, and he didn't listen to me. Vayomer Hashem elai, rav lach al tosei daber elai od b'davar zeh. I don't want to hear from you anymore, says God to Moshe. Enough is enough. The punishment is going to be decreed, and you cannot enter the hand of Eretz Yisrael. But let's understand Moshe's point here. Moshe Rabbeinu says that Klal Yisrael caused him to sin, as the pasuk says, "Vayisaber Hashem bi lemanchem." God got angry at me because of you, the Jewish people. And Rashi, commenting on this pasuk, says, "Bishvilchem atem garamtem li." You caused me to sin. Moshe Rabbeinu blames the punishment that he receives not to enter the land of Israel on the Jewish people. Take a very basic mashal, contemporary. Kids are fighting in the house, and one child hits the other. And that child is hurt, cries. And the child says, "Oi, I'm in such pain. Look what my sibling did." So the parent will chastise the child who hit the other child. And one will never say, it's because of the other child who caused me to hit. That's why I did it. It's true, they might claim that. But at the end of the day, that's not a fair claim, because who did the damage? Who caused the pain? It's the kid who hit the other sibling. And you can't punish the other sibling because the other sibling instigated. It's true, it's not nice, it's not right, it's the wrong thing to do. But at the end of the day, it's the child who hit the other sibling. That's the child who's going to be punished. Moshe Rabbeinu hits the rock. Moshe Rabbeinu says that Klal Yisrael instigated him to hit it. Is that a responsible thing to say? Is that a fair thing to say? Maybe for children. But how can Moshe Rabbeinu make that claim that it's as a result of you, Bnei Yisrael, who forced me to hit the rock? That's why I'm not entering the land of Israel? Read the psukim this week's Parshas Chukas. Moshe made this name, and Moshe is punished. How can Moshe Rabbeinu blame it on Klal Yisrael? Many Mefarshei Chumash raised this question on this pasuk in Parshas V'eschanan, share with you the answer that Rabbi Soloveitchik suggested at one time. Soloveitchik explained that for any leader to be successful, a leader needs a support staff. A leader needs a community. A leader needs a board. A leader needs people around him to be able to succeed and to fulfill his mission and the mission of the people. No president, no king, no great leader is able to execute any edict or any successful dynasty or any successful presidency without a strong support staff, a government, a community, or a constituency. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's true I hit the rock. And it's true I'm being punished. But I need to teach Klal Yisrael a lesson. At the end of the day, in order for me to have been successful, or any leader to be successful, Atem Garamtim li. I need help. And if the help is not going to be there in any form, then there's no way that leadership could succeed. And there's no way that Moshe Rabbeinu could help Klal Yisrael come into Eretz Yisrael, because with rabble-rousers and with fighting and with challenges and with suffocating Moshe and with rebelling against Moshe, Moshe is unable to work. He needs teammates, he needs partners, he needs Yoshua, he needs this Canaan, but he needs more than that Klal Yisrael to support him and to partner with him. And without that, there's no way that Klal Yisrael can succeed, and no way that Moshe Rabbeinu can succeed as a leader. And that's the Pshat in Rashi. That's what Moshe tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's the lesson for posterity that the Torah is teaching us. If ever we want our leaders, our Rabbanim, to succeed, there needs to be a support staff called Klal Yisrael. There needs to be leadership. And in order for that to happen, there need to be working in tandem. And amazingly, you see right after this event, after Moshe Rabbeinu hits the rock and after Moshe Rabbeinu was punished, a sea change, a cultural change of Bnei Yisrael in the Midbar in year 40 before they enter Eretz Yisrael. 3 events, 3 string of events which take place immediately after show that Klal Yisrael recognized that they failed in this area. They weren't able to support Moshe, they weren't able to support Aaron. And as a result, Bnei Yisrael see that their leader, Moshe Rabbeinu, was lost and forlorn, will not be allowed to enter Eretz Yisrael. And the same fear that they had when Moshe Rabbeinu didn't return from Har Sinai, they made an Egel. Bnei Yisrael too here also are petrified and frightened. But they're not frightened the same way and when we create an Egel again, but they decide to take matters into their own hand and to work with Moshe Rabbeinu. And immediately after, if you take a look in the Psukim, immediately following the Chet of Mei Meriba, Vayishlach Moshe Malachim Mikadosh HaMelech Edom, Moshe sends messengers to the king of Edom and tells the king of Edom, Nabra Atzecha, allow us to pass through your space, your area. Lo Navra Basad Bekem, we're not going to travel to the fields or the vineyards. Lo Nishta Meber, we're not going to drink from your wells. Derech HaMelech Nelech Lo Nate Yomenu Small Arasher Navra Vlecha. All we're going to do is we're going to pass through. We're not going to take a thing. We're not going to drink anything of yours. We're not going to bother you. Just allow us to go through your highway to get to where we need to go. We're headed to the Holy Land. The king of Edom returns and responds, Vayomer elav Edom lo savor. You cannot pass through our territory. Pin becherev eitze likrasaka. Because if you do, we're going to greet you not with water, but with the sword. That's the dialogue that takes place between Moshe and Melech Edom. The rebuttal now should come from who? Moshe. But indeed, read the next pasuk. Doesn't say Vayomer Elav, it says Vayomru Elav Bnei Yisrael. Bnei Yisrael, stand up. And in the place of Moshe, they say to Melech Edom b'Mesila Naleh, V'memecha nishtani u'miknai v'nasati michram, Rakein davar b'ragli ebra. We will pass through. We're taking it upon ourselves. Whatever we take, we'll pay for. Bnei Yisrael don't even give Moshe Rabbeinu an opportunity to respond. They step up. They support Moshe. And they go on the front lines and tell Melech Edom, we're going to pass through. We want to pass through. We can do it. Bnei Yisrael change. And there's a categorical difference in Bnei Yisrael at this moment and at this juncture. And it continues with the following event as Bnei Yisrael continue to pass through the Midbar. Vayishma Knani Melech Harad Yoshev Negiv Pa Yisrael Derech Hasarim. Knani. Now here's the Bnei Yisrael are emerging. Vayilachim Yisrael. They fight to the Jewish people. Vayeshev Mimenu Shevi. They take booty. And listen to what happens in the very next pasuk, paragraph aleph, pasuk beis. Vayido Yisrael nedel Hashem. Klal Yisrael take a vow on God. Vayomrim nason titen es ha'am hazeh biyadi v'cheramti yisarem. If you, God, place the Canaan in our hands, we will consecrate their property. We will offer it to the Mishkan, as Rashi explains. And again, you see Bnei Yisrael take a neder, a vow, a very passionate, proactive way to say that we are different. We are going to take responsibility in Achrayas. We're not going to leave it just to Moshe and to Aaron. We'll do something. We need to change. And again, the story continues, not only with Edom, not only with Canaan, but now with Sichon. As the pasuk says, "Vayishlach Yisrael malachim el Sichon melech Amor el Melemor." It's not Moshe sending messengers as it was the first time after to Edom, but rather Vayishlach Yisrael malachim. The Jewish people begin to send messengers to Sichon, and they say the same thing. But Sichon says, no, you can't pass through our land. Sichon says, you can't pass through our land. And who answers? Bnei Yisrael answer, V'yakeu Yisrael lefichar klal Yisrael, smite Sichon. Vayirashes artzo me'arnon ad Yabok b'nei Ammon, and Bnei Yisrael again take responsibility. They take the bull by the horn, passionately, with eagerness, with zeal, proactively, no longer this passivity of the avodim, of the slave mentality, no longer the mentality of those who are passively recipients of miracles, but Klal Yisrael change in an effort to prepare themselves to enter the land of Eretz Yisrael, where they will till the soil and plow the land. Klal Yisrael say, we can't just leave it to Moshe. We need to aid and abet Moshe. We need to help Moshe any way we can, and that's what they do. And in between these few wars, you see another fascinating event. Klal Yisrael complain, and they say to Moshe, why, Moshe Rabbeinu, have you taken us out of Mitzrayim to die in the Midbar? And lechem and mayim, there's no water, and there's no bread, we have nothing to eat. We are disgusted with the food that we are eating. And as a result of this complaint, the Kadosh Baruch Hu sends the fiery serpents, the Nechashim Asrafim, that create death and wreak havoc. Vayamas Amrav Yisrael, and many Jews die in this plight. And now, what happens? Vayavo ha'am el Moshe, as a result of this death plague that takes many lives of the Jewish people, Klal Yisrael come to Moshe and they say, one word, Chatanu, we have sinned. Ki dibarnu b'Hashem, we have spoke against God. This is a different Jewish people, a different Klal Yisrael, not the Klal Yisrael of the first 39 years in the Midbar, who complain, who fight, anarchy, rebellion, kvetching, complaining. But Bnei Yisrael complain here, and they respond, and they recognize the mistake they make, and they say, Chatanu, we have sinned. They take achrayus, they take responsibility. This is tshuva. We say we're sorry, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we did wrong. It's taking achrayus. And this is what great Jews have done throughout the ages. They say we've done wrong, and here again, Klal Yisrael admits their mistakes, and they say we've done wrong. Thus, in Parshas Chukas, we begin to see a seed change, a cultural phenomenon which takes place, as opposed to the Jewish people, who are always the recipients of passive nisim, miracles, as a result of the mentality of the slaves who saw and witnessed everything and were recipients of everything they had. Here, Klal Yisrael says, no longer. We're going to take matters into our own hands, and this takes us through the rest of Sefer Bamidbar. Primarily in Parshas Pinchas, Sefer Bamidbar is referred to as Chomesh HaPikudim, the book of Numbers, because in Parshas Bamidbar there's one counting, and in Parshas Pinchas there's a second counting. And that second counting is referring to the new people, a new Klal Yisrael who are counted differently. They're a different people, they're different numbers. They're counted as a people who are focused and driven to enter the land of Eretz Yisrael because they can do it. And they're a proactive people. And that's what happens in the beginning of Parshas Pinchas, when Pinchas witnesses Cosby and Zibri sinning publicly in front of all Klal Yisrael next to the Makom HaMishkan. What does Pinchas do? He doesn't ask Moshe, what should we do? But Pinchas takes Haromach b'yadu, the sword in his hands, and he mightily kills Cosby and Zimri. That's what Pinchas does, because Pinchas says, we need to work with Moshe, and I know what Moshe would say. And that's one of the very critical lessons of the Dor HaMidbar, this transitional stage that Bnei Yisrael are in, moving in the direction of Eretz Yisrael where they're going to have to work. And we need to work with our leaders. And we need to take responsibility. We can't be passive and leave things for somebody else, not even leave it for Moshe or Aaron. But we need to help, we need to aid, we need to abet, we need to work together. And not only is it true then, but Yami Mahen Bazman as then, in order to succeed as a Jewish people, as a klal, we can't leave matters just in the hands of leadership. Leadership needs lay people. Leadership needs Klal Yisrael. And Klal Yisrael needs the leadership. Gedolei Yisrael need help. And throughout the ages, they've received it from great sergeants and great lieutenants and great individuals who have helped be able to execute plans, policy, protocol, and helping the Jewish people any which way we can in order for the Jewish people to make it back to Eretz Yisrael, to leave the Golos, to leave the Midbar we're in. We can't just focus on ourselves and allow the leaders to take care of Klal Yisrael, but we need to work with them. And the more Klal Yisrael, and the more we are able to help our leaders, to help our Moshe Rabbeinus, to help our Gedolei Yisrael, to help our leaders, then we will be able to successfully work together. Then never ever should a leader say, Atem Garantem, you caused my downfall. Because the downfall of a leader is only in as much as the help that he receives. And that's the lesson of Parshas Chukas. That's the lesson of Sefer Bamidbar, and specifically the second half of Sefer Bamidbar, beginning here in Parshas Chukas. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu give each of us the strength to find our way to help, to find our way to be able to help our leaders, our Rabbanim, our Gedolim, to be able to work together in an effort to better Klal Yisrael, strengthen Klal Yisrael, and to bring us to the place where we all want to get, to Eretz Yisrael, Shibani Beis HaMikdash, B'mheirav Yameinu, V'sein Chalkeinu B'Sorasecha, wishing everybody a wonderful Shabbos.